Should it be not a real stream? Did I mess something up? I was I not meant to stream today? You're making me doubt myself. What is the... No, the schedule is on Discord is correct. The schedule on Discord is at least correct, but you have made me doubt myself. Hi, good morning. No, we're meant to be streaming. we're meant to be streaming today. It's all good. I think that perhaps the confusion... I've been streaming every day of May. We've only got 1 week left, which is crazy. So I think that... I think that after May, I probably won't stream on a Sunday, if that's kind of what you're referencing, Cactus John, is I do like having my weekends free. But even so, wait, no. I feel like I've been streaming on almost every Sunday since I've moved to UK. I've missed the occasional one, but for a lot of Sundays I've been live streaming. I usually don't stream on a Saturday. Is the one. Anyway, it's irrelevant. I'm here, and it is intentional, and it's very cool that Killigrunt has resubscribed. Cool. So thank you very much, Killigrunt. Much appreciated. I hope you've been well and having a wonderful weekend. I want to play some Red Dead today. However, I will see how I go, because it is bloody hot. I understand why the British complain about the heat so much, because the houses are just not built for it. And yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I also feel like I got this giant bloody lion's mane today, and I think that's because of the heat. Hey Goku. I'm hot, flustered, I've transitioned into a lion that has a giant mane. So I promise I put a brush through it. Yeah, exactly. See, Mama. That's the thing is, I know that there are some people who have very wild hair. I'm not really one of those people. Usually, yeah, this is slightly more accurate. I typically have quite like straight and flat hair, but my goodness gracious, okay, it feels a little bit more tamed now. We can frequent the circus now. Grrr, is that lion enough? Why always lion? Okie dokie. This is all good. Hi, Fayboy. How you going? Okay, so we'll see how it goes. I have not been up here this morning. So now that I am feeling a little bit flustered in the heat. So I'll see how it is, because if I'm complaining about it, I don't particularly want to play games up here. So I think that it might be just a little yippee yappa chitter chatter, and then a decision on whether we play. And if I don't play, then I think I will go into town and get a fan, because it's gonna be like this all week. But yes, I truly do understand why the Brits complain, because I have had hotter days like this, hotter days than this, and been able to live stream in my house because it wasn't so hot inside. Anyhow, happy to see you too, Iron Knuckles. So I shan't harp on about the heat unless it means that I am ending. But it's nice to be here, and I hope you guys are having a nice weekend yourself. I don't really have any stories. I'm gonna be so real. I usually try to have some sort of thing that I can talk about. So yesterday, I blew all of my stories about the shoplifting. Although I will confess that it's taken me this long to realize that the word I was looking for yesterday was shoplifting. I kept on wanting to say robbery, but it wasn't robbery. It's shoplifting. 24 hours later. It took me that long. And then nothing's really happened since. And this is a thing. Okay. I do have a story. I'll share some thoughts. There are a lot of content creators and live streamers who literally stream every single day. And that is very admirable in a lot of ways. But it makes me understand why those same creators end up either moving into like drama or react content or commentary or even politics, because when I've streamed every day like now, and then I turn up and I'm like, well, I don't have anything to talk, like I don't have real world experiences that I can bring and discuss. So that's why it ends up on this rabbit hole of internet watching, I suppose, which can be a lot of fun, but I don't know. I think it is important for me to make sure that I am doing things outside, because otherwise I just feel like I don't have any commentary. Hello, I can see you. Oh, I think some of the messages are just getting held Goku. There we go. Look, I can see if that works. I didn't move over to here, but I can see that they've been held for from the auto mod. And it's just me at the moment, so hopefully we don't get an onslaught of messages, because I'm the moderator, so I can see you, Goku. And hello, Gab, how you going? But anyway, that's just kind of my point, is that it's good to go outside. Yeah, I think it was just the auto mode. Pomelo, did that one work? I feel like that may not have gone through either, but nonetheless. The most exciting story I have this week is that I guilted my dad into going on a short trip with me. That's fun. Sometime in the next few days, hoping states to go to one place and then straight home. Also Tangelo, also Pomelo. But yeah, that does sound fun. I like hanging out with my dad and going on little trips. I know not everyone has relationship with their parents that they can go on trips with their parents. So good for you. I think that's gonna be cool. I'm doing my part. There we go. That looked like it was doing its part now. On YouTube, you need to have your chat setting on live chat versus top chat for those over there. Or as in, like, I need to change something? Or it's fine, or like the YouTubers need to change something? Let me know. The watchers. Okay, cool. I do think that in Goku's case that there was an auto mod. I don't so for example, the message was knees out and the auto mod was like, are you sure about that? And yes, we are sure about that. Good morning, Michael. These past few weeks I've been turning onto your stream because I'm burnt out. Oh, and you've got a last exam. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Goku. So, advice I have, I say as someone who didn't go to university, but I did do exams all the way back in high school, is just try, because I'm assuming your problem is studying, right? If you are struggling to do study, just look up what the Pomodoro technique is. So just set aside 10 minutes. So even on the stream, you can have the stream still live and you can mute it and then set a little timer and just 10 minutes and then you back out. But it's 10 minutes more than you would have done before. And that kind of stuff can sometimes set you on a roll as well. but I know that sometimes the procrastination
I'm doing my part.
of actually getting to the studying and actually doing the work is where some of the issue comes in. So just start with a little 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and it can help with a feeling of accomplishment. No, Goku. I think it's funny. Don't get me wrong. This is why moderators exist. So when the auto moderation is like, "Ooh, is this okay?" We can go, "Yes, of course it's okay." No one, no one is well, I shouldn't say no one, but you do not have anything to apologize for, Goku. Please do not think that you have. We've had people say a lot worse things, and it's not a reflection of you. It's just that sometimes the auto moderation catches things that we also go, huh? What? Why? You're procrastinating. Oh my gosh. You're also studying. There we go. So good on you for doing a little bit of both. I know that if I end up going back to education, I think would be a good way of phrasing it, that I'm going to really struggle with the study side of things. Yeah, I tend to find that I don't ask the questions as well, see mama, because I think it's a little bit of a neurodivergent thing where I'm like, if people want to say it, they will offer the information, but I must remember that I'm also allowed to request the information. So yes, if you're comfortable sharing what the exam is for either of you guys, then you're welcome to. And Zach, thank you so much for the follow as well. Ooh, I know that I'm drinking tea. Yeah, see, mama, and that's perfectly respectable. I know that when I made my tea, that it was a bit of a bold choice, but I just like my morning rituals, I suppose. But I can feel that I am perspiring. No way, I didn't realize you were live either, Dalta. I would have been watching while I was doing my morning haunt. But it's good to see you. I hope that everything's been well. Do you have the rest? Oh no, you'll probably be needing to head to bed because you will have work tomorrow, hey. But it's good to see you. If you don't have work, then hang out a little bit if you want. Oh, okay. So Delta ended much earlier than I did. Never mind, Delta. It's all good in the hood. I'm sure that you rated someone amazing. It's not procrastination. I'm just tired. Yeah, you said burnt out. It's a 2 days medical licensing exam. Oh my god. Yeah. See, look, I can definitely see that as not only if you're struggling with burnout, but it's a lot of pressure. So there's probably overwhelming feelings going on as well. Damn, Goku. Well, that's very cool. Good morning, Nine Fox. That is very cool. So keep that in mind. You're a cool person. But I can understand if you have burnt out because it is a lot. Even just prepping for it would be very burnt out. So yeah, just you got this. You got this. Just give yourself the rest that you need. You need a rest to be at your best. But hopefully you'll find some motivation again. And yeah, if you just, you know, I think sometimes it can be trying to get a little bit of that dopamine hit and that feeling of accomplishment can help with the motivation too. But like you say, it's not really procrastination. It's just a lot. It's a lot, for sure. Somebody's auto mod caught classic Australian girl today. I wonder if yours will. Well, maybe not if it's in quotation marks, perhaps. Some people have stricter moderation than others. Our YouTube moderation is a lot more strict because, auto moderation is a lot more strict because we have a lot more trolls over there. But the Twitch is pretty relaxed, admittedly. So maybe that one in particular had a bit stricter auto. But I also find that sometimes the auto moderation doesn't really make sense. Like, what's wrong with classic Australian girl? like, because it has the word girl in it? What is the logic there? Sometimes it doesn't feel like there is any. However, here's a tinfoil hat theory that I think has no base whatsoever. I sometimes wonder if auto moderation catches various people's messages because they themselves have a history of saying weird stuff. So, like I said, it has no base whatsoever, but one day it will. So if I was on Time Dalter, then then maybe it would have worked out. I was about 6 minutes late, and for 8 in the morning, I'll give myself that. I found that even when I guess with when the sun, how the sun comes into my bedroom, I basically wake up at the exact same time at 6:30, well 6:20 every single morning, but I'm like, that's too early. I go back to sleep now. And I have been considering, like this morning, that perhaps I should just get up when I first wake up, even if I haven't had a lot of sleep. It probably would be a good idea, realistically. I think the UK's been treating me quite well, actually. Yeah, the British accent, that predated my move, though. So if people who have been watching me for a while know I've always had a bit more of a rounded accent. But I think that has just kind of cemented since being here. And I think it's been treating me very well. Hey Boba, hey Desi. Like I said, I was complaining about the heat this morning because the houses are not built for 30 degrees Celsius today. By the way, for those who know Celsius, I think that's around 90 Fahrenheit. I'm not maybe it's a little bit lower, 86 maybe. Anyways, in the 80s, I am pretty sure with the calculation there. Yeah, it's hot. It's proper hot. And so there's no aircon whatsoever. Cheers, Cactus John. Yeah, I thought it was up there somewhere. Especially in the attic. What is it there? I guess it's at night, and it's getting colder in New Zealand rather than hotter. Clean your sleep masks. I don't have a sleep mask. Wait, is this an accidental diss of, here's a pro tip, clean your sleep masks because you should get one because you look tired as hell. I feel like there was extra steps in this insult. Hilarious. Oh, sorry to hear that, Dalta. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks about the fires. Buddy of mine got auto-modded for saying him. What? What? Huh? That is a bizarre auto-moderation. Yeah, I cannot... Anyhow. Ridiculous. All I know is that nearly every stream I got one chatter who is labeled as restricted and possible ban evader. Yes, that's very different to auto-moderating, though. But they try to get me to buy a view bot and then Seribot bans them. Good. That is exactly how it should be. But it sucks that you've got a repeat solicitor. I've learned to get to a point where I should stop pushing myself and try to take some time off. Good. I'm glad that you're recognizing that, but it would be hard for sure. I'm trying to be the best like no one ever was. There's something that you could say about the exam, but the parody is not in my ability. But I think that you are it sounds like you're self-aware enough that you know when you need to take a break, and whatever that looks like for you, good for you. You're a sleep mask. Yes, yeah, I know it wasn't meant to be an insult. I'm just yanking my own chain. Euphemisms are funny. If something's on a face for 8 hours, you'd clean it too. Yes, exactly. Especially when it gets hotter and hotter because it just gets nasty. Do you do any kind of sports? I go running, but I only started that this year, so I'm not very good at it. But I am trying to build up my cardio and work on that. What else? I don't play. Actually, this is a segue. I have been thinking I might look into seeing if anyone in Southampton plays netball. Imagine me after 15 years returning to my childhood sport. And I know a lot of you guys won't know what netball is, but I am in England, a country that people will at least know what it is, even if it's not popular. It's just whether or not it's popular here in Southampton to spawn enough people who will have teams that can also verse one another from a local social place. Yeah, I think it would be cool, hey? And it would be social. I like that, and that's in the name. It would be great. Thank you, Cactus John. Yes, exactly right. Netball is basketball, but no backboard and some weirder rules. Hi, Dr. Mommy. Dropping a huge fudge dragon? Why did you have to make it sound delicious, though? Goodness gracious. I'm going to keep studying before my productivity flow ends. I'm glad to hear it, Gab. Good on you. You go do your thing. Isn't yanking of chains TOS? Yeah, that's why I was giggling. Hi. Oh, from sunny Idaho. It's a nice sunny day for you as well, is it? Good to see you, Zaga. Oh, yeah, is Pokemon catching a sport? Because that's one that I do every single day. I got the idea of wanting to go there. Oh, I must have missed where you were going. Anyway, wanting to go there because I want to try one specific international food I can't get closer without having it shipped, and my approaching birthday felt like the perfect time to guilt my dad. Yes, yep, absolutely. But I may have missed where it was that you were. Oh, Jungle Gyms. I don't know what this is, so that's why I was missing it. Yeah, exactly. I prefer it to basketball because you have less violence and more skirts. Hell yeah. Hi, Plains. Welcome on back. That would entail a lot of standing around for netball. No, you gotta go quick. If you're in a good league, I suppose, then there should be a lot of moving around for sure. I'll be playing some Red Dead Redemption later on in answer to that question. But I will be playing that on Twitch rather than on YouTube, just as a heads up. I haven't tried pickleball, but nothing about pickleball intrigues me. It feels like tennis, but smaller, and so therefore more accessible because you don't have to be as fit. And I like the idea of it for other people, but not for me. English, sorry, chap. And then I only know netball because I've done my diagrams. Well, thank you so much for remembering, Cactus John. And yeah, Betty Rose used to play Hey, and apparently she was really good at it. Hi, Craig. I used Google and there's a Southampton Netball Association. Okay, that's a good thing. So it just depends on whether or not it's for children or for adults. But usually if they have one already, then it should be okay. If my original hometown can have social netball with its population size, then surely Southampton has it as well. So I'll look into it further. Thank you, Sarian, for checking. Yes, DJ, you're absolutely correct about trauma. Trauma can really mess people up, and that's why it's called trauma. And it can make people doubt themselves, doubt other people. It really sucks. It does indeed. Your background looks poor. Yeah, it does. It does. Like in several senses of that word, for sure. Yeah, netball's a team sport, so I think it would be good for socialization. Pickle and balls. What position did you play? So I do have a little bit of a story about netball. I didn't play for my school when I was even in high school. I ended up playing with my mum's team. So in school, when I was very young and first got into netball, which would have been about 9 or 10 years old when we started having sport at my primary school. I was a shooter. I played goal attack and goal shoot, and so that is why I was able to sink some nets. So that's why I got those positions. And I really kind of just had those two positions. That was it. That was it. Those are the two positions that I played. And then when I stopped playing for school, and that continued into high school, when I stopped playing for school and I ended up signing up with my mum's netball team, which was honestly so much more fun. I was a 15-year-old, and I think I kept on playing until I was 16, but I was young, playing with these scrappy as hell, like 40, 50-year-olds, and it was a completely different sport because as a teenager, it's very like nimble, and there's a lot of running around one another, whereas playing with these incredibly strong and scrappy women, it, like I said, it was a completely different game because they're all, you can't they're just they don't rely necessarily on speed, and they don't rely necessarily on they don't let you run away. So yeah, you end up having to be like really, really strong, and I think it was good for me. It taught me a very different style of play and a lot more oomph and resilience, which was kind of funky. And so I couldn't rely on my speed as much because they know that when there's someone young, they have to work about it. But when but that being said, because I was the young one in the team, I moved from the shooting positions into the center. I became center because I had more stamina and I could go the whole match with being at center. So because the ladies, they didn't have as much stamina. So that is what my positioning in netball was. Okay. I don't know what that one is, Mallow, so let me know what that means. Also, I will pause this whole time because I wanted to say, hi, Jared. It's good to see you. Yes, I'm locked in a tower. I like that. I've just been growing my hair so I can be like Rapunzel, and then it's all sorted. So I moved here with my brick wall when I moved to the UK. Good to see some people filter in with the Starship Troopers, by the way. You want a team to get beers with? I do want a team that I could potentially have like a coffee with or something. I think it's really important to try and make some friends. Pickleball, if you could make a pickleball into a different sport where it'd be literally a pickle, that would be fun. I love it. Yes, I know. It looks so long, doesn't it? I drive by the pickle courts near me at 9 p.m. It's all college-age kids going nuts. Yeah, that would be scrappy as well. I'll drop $10 if you shave your head. I actually have a higher price than $10 for shaving my head. I have said it's $300. Wait, did we increase it for inflation? It's $300 to cut off a few inches. And then if you want me to shave my head, that's $10,000. So $10 will not cut it. Netball to trauma. I definitely have a segue between netball to trauma, but it's not so much trauma. It's more just the recognition that adults are stupid and they don't know anything. And yeah, I learned that at a nice young age, which is great because it meant that, although it didn't help me when I went to acting school. Since I'm in Minnesota, we soak up any warmth when it's available. Yeah, I actually sat outside for like 2 hours yesterday. It was really lovely. I like defense. I really liked defense as well, Boba, but I never got put in there when I was in school. I really wanted to be like a goal defense and goal keep because I was able to jump in comparison to a lot of the other girls. And so whenever I had to fill in, it was always so enjoyable. But because a lot of the girls couldn't sink nets, that's why I kept on getting shooter. So we were talking about netball, Rob. That's the sport that I played. Yeah, hurting senior citizens. Did it feel like your jiu-jitsu stuff where you had to encounter it? Yeah, you just have to accept it because it was just awesome. Hi, awesome. Hi, people. Kia ora, Sha. Good to have you here. And hi there, Ryan. Thank you. Thank you, Dominus. That's really kind. I did, Kiwi Man. I'm sorry that I haven't had a chance to comment on it. Sometimes I consume things, but I don't necessarily respond straight away. But I did watch the video because I knew exactly what it was going to be, and it was awesome. You should be very proud of yourself. That was so freaking cool. You'll actually do it for 10K? Yeah, why not? Like, why not? Did you run into your favorite barista? No, I woke up, I made a cup of tea, and I'm here. I don't typically go to the coffee shops when I have my morning streams. Add 3 more zeros. Sorry, what would that be? 10,000. What? $1 million? $1 million? I mean, yeah, I would absolutely shave my head for $1 million. Why? I would shave it for less. So why not a mil? Hi, Gerda. How you going? Alinmar, welcome on back. Yes, of course. Planes, you go do your thing. Speaking of, I can hear one of your loves right now. I'll shave my head for $1. Guys, send Ryan some dollars. What do you recommend if someone who has been through trauma? Like, how do they get over it to feel safe? I am not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or a therapist. And so my advice would be to try and find those services. I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but that is what one is supposed to do. If you are really struggling with trauma, then you need to find the tools that are in your arsenal and figure out what it is, the root cause of the trauma. And so therapy is the way to go. Having a neutral, non-judgmental person to help you work through those things. I will not be able to help you. I can give like my own experience, but I can't give you advice because the advice is to find someone who actually can help you with that. The sport was netball. It's like basketball, but with more rules and without a backboard. My favorite position is defense against the dark arts. That's funny. No, it's not a slang. It's just a sport that's not popular in America. I'm here in Sao Paulo. Thank you, Lucas. Or obrigado. Yeah, shall I show you guys? For 10K, the amount of wigs you can get till it grows back, and we could like have a fun time. I think that 10K is pretty reasonable, right? It'll grow back. I'm only 30, so it'll grow back. If I'm gonna do it, it would be now. Anyway, I've always said that I probably want to do it for fundraising for cancer research, though, because that's just kind of what people have done, you know. Yeah, I got the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur and the Charmander back there. Hi, kindness. Good morning, Ian. Hope your weekend's going well. I hope you're not too hot up north either. Your voice is why the colony started the Tea Party. Oh, would you shave your money for 1 million hairs? No, I don't want to. I already struggle with 1 million hairs around the house that I need to vacuum. I don't want more, thank you. I can give 10,000. No, it has to be 10,000 at least American dollars, but preferably 10,000 British pounds because that would be even more. I'll shave my head for 10K. Hell yeah. Send a kiss to Yundiai. I'm sorry, Lucas. My pronunciation probably was there, but I don't send kisses. Admittedly. Thank y'all. I wouldn't say these ones are groovy, but they are my first ones. Yeah, not basketball at all. Girls are mean in netball. I can tell you that from experience. No dribbling, exactly. But I'll show you guys in a second. If we raise 10K, what currency are we talking? Usually I operate in American dollars when I am doing anything on my live streams. Would you consider donating the hair? Yes, absolutely. So then we can bully someone else for being ginger. But yes, I would save as much as I can, and then donate that. And so I wouldn't want it to just fall on the floor. Greetings from Chile. Hello. Should I go to work? Do you have sick leave, or if you do not make money if you don't go to work? The only thing I know how to say in Portuguese is obrigado. I will confess. 10K is a lot of money to shave your head. If you get 1K, you should do it. No, I think that I think 1K. I've done a lot of fundraisers in my time as a live streamer. I know my worth. I know how long it takes for my hair to grow back. I think 10K is a good price. Yeah, exactly. It hides my beautiful alien head. Thank you, toothbrush. You're charging too little. You think about 30K? Honestly, 10K I do also think is quite low. But if it were for charity, if it were for charity, maybe that's what I should do. 30K, because then I would donate $10,000 for and my hair for cancer research, and then I can pocket the 20K. I like this. I like this plan a lot. I talked you down 9K. I'm a bad advice giver. Yeah, see, I think 10K is reasonable. But I also think that I deserve more. Yeah, hair is a lot more of that identity. But I did get an undercut and shaved all of this a few years ago, so I don't feel quite as attached to my hair as I used to. Hair used to be my entire identity, being a redhead, and then I managed to reclaim some of that autonomy, and now I don't care as much. But the shaving was nice as well, because it made me realize that I like having long hair for me, rather than because everyone tells me not to cut it. Because I kid you not, whenever I talk about cutting my hair, people are like, no, don't do it. Your hair's so beautiful. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, but that's what, like, why does my hair being cut affect you? And so shaving the undercut really helped me go, yeah, I can do whatever I want. And now I choose to have long hair because I like having long hair, rather than because people have told me not to cut it. Renz, it's so good to see you. I hope you've been well. Thank you for popping in. Your hair might get used for witchcraft. Don't give it away. Well, I'd hope to give it to like a wig or something. Chan. 10K is just respecting the sacrifice. Yeah, exactly. I like this. Clem knows other rangers. I did know someone who had a shaved head at 25 when I worked at a US restaurant. She got so many tips because they thought she was going through chemo. She didn't dissuade them. Hey, look. In a US restaurant, you do what you can for tips, okay? And I respect it. It's not her fault that they made an assumption, okay? And we all know that the wages when you're working as a waitress in USA, I don't blame her for accepting the tips, okay? I really don't. Yes, very few men care about going bald, but again, I think that it's that they don't care if it's shaving their head, but if it's because of the receding hairline and balding, that's when they care, because again, this is taking away someone's choice and autonomy. And so as long as they're choosing to shave their head, then it's fine. A girl with fairly long hair, 10K is a good amount. I think so. It's like it's an amount that people can understand. But I think for my hair specifically, I think that it could be a little bit more. Write the rest off on your tax return. Exactly. Hi, Brod. Welcome on back. What is your IQ? Well, it depends. I've done a test online that had about 33 questions, and so I can tell you what what my score on that test was. It's up to you to decide whether or not you think it's accurate, because I can tell you I don't feel like it was accurate personally. 1K for shoulder. Yeah, I actually think that's fair enough. Like all of that, slay. But I think that if I'm cutting off that much, I'd probably do even more, because then I could basically donate that entire area. Whereas donating that much, it's like not quite long enough, you know? Do it for me, not you. Fair enough, Dolta. You know what? You've persuaded me. Cut your hair or don't. I'm not your dad. Exactly. Yeah, authority and autonomy over the body. Exactly. And that's the thing. Like Big Man said, short hair looks less pretty. And so a lot of people do like long hair on women. But that is why a lot of women will actually cut their hair, because they're not necessarily trying to be pretty for other people. They're trying to have the autonomy over their own body. And so, for example, if I cut my hair, I'm not doing like I'm doing it for Dolta. But it would be because I don't necessarily care about looking more pretty, you know? Hi Nick, how you going? When do I figure out notifications? Yeah, but today was not that day. I wouldn't play with that karma. How much to cut it and then make it felted beard? I don't know. Would have to look up the actual numbers for it. I'm from Russia. There we go. I just respond to people's messages, basically. It's very simple around here. Oh, thank you, Candlelight. Oh, that's cute. IQ S tier. I think that the IQ score I got was too high. Yeah. Tax return soon. In which country? What's Mensa level? Let me have a look up what Mensa level is. Oh, and I should show you guys netball as well. I've put that on my tabs. Mensa level. Yeah, exactly, Dolta. Mensa level, to join Mensa, you need to score in the top 2% of the population on a standardized supervised IQ test. Well, mine wasn't supervised, so keep in mind, I could have cheated, but keep in mind that I'm also a stickler for the rules. And so I saw that there was a timer. I stressed the fuck out, and then I was like, wait, no, I can do this. It's okay. There's like, I don't have identity wrapped up in my IQ. So this says it generally equates to an IQ of 130 or higher on the Stanford Bennett scale, or 148 or higher on the Cattle scale. So I don't know what the difference between those are. I did start watching a video about IQ that was sent, and so that one I believe was the Stanford Bennett scale. So I don't know what the Cattle scale is. That one wasn't covered in the video that, or of the part of the video that I had watched. How do you find out if you qualify? Take an online workout, try a home test, book a supervised test. Anyhow, what kind of questions does an IQ test? Usually it's pattern recognition toothbrush. I bet 131, where it's just underneath the Mensa level. The only IQ test that matters these days is the one done by Mensa. In the event you get over 100, you're officially recognized as a genius. But over 100, I thought 100 was average. So it shouldn't be a genius be like 130, right? I have no idea what your IQ is, but I think reasonably high. Thanks, guys. I think that IQ test is, I don't know, maybe it's easier for me to say because I do have a reasonably high IQ based on the testing that I've done. So I'm like, but it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. But the reason why it doesn't matter is because I feel dumb as fuck. So it's just, I don't know. Mensa. Oh, that's what the S is. Okay, my apologies. Mensa rather than organization. Mensa. I'm going to bed. Lego. Thank you, Delta, for swinging by. Hi, Archie Oscar. Stephen Hawking was in Mensa. If you qualify with a high enough score, you get a stipend of money. Okay, all right. And then 148. Well, 148 was a different type of test. You know, IQ is great, but if you have no common sense, you're about as dumb as a bag of hammers. Exactly! Ultimate mission! And that's the thing is, we all know people who we can tell their IQ is incredibly high, but they have no social skills and so it just goes nowhere. It's basically like you can have all the talent in the world at, let's say, piano playing, but you're not necessarily going to make money off that. And I'm not saying money is the pursuit either, but it's more just that correlation of you can have incredibly high IQ, but what does that mean? What does that mean if you're not doing anything with it? And some people don't necessarily have the skills to know what to do with it. I certainly wouldn't. Yes, I like my massive cup of tea. It's just cooled down enough where it's really nice. And also, inside it's cooled down a bit too. I think the window has helped with a bit of airflow, so it's helping out. It's Mensa. It's meant to be ironic because Mensa in Spanish means dumb girl. You're kidding. That's so funny. That is actually like, I wouldn't put it past Mensa to put that in as a little... Haha. This says that Mensa is a Latin for table, like their logo. So it means table in Latin, Delta. All scales have 100 as the average, but then have different scores for the upper percentiles. I can't remember which is which, but one of the two you mentioned is more language-based and the other visual. I assume that Mensa would be more visual-based, but I'm not 100% sure. I am a hypocrite in that I don't like short hair in women. That is much shorter than shoulder height, but I will listen to my girlfriend's opinion on facial and head hair. I feel like that's fair enough because you are trying, but it's one of those things where you know what you find attractive in women, so you would want to see that in your girlfriend, and then you understand that your girlfriend would hopefully be finding you attractive, and so you want to look good for her. I think that's a perfectly non-hypocritical way of looking at it. Do we want to go down the rabbit hole of IQ testing being racist in classes? Yes! What? Where has this come from? Because I know that a lot of people, and maybe it's a little bit teeter-tottering on politics, but I know a lot of people call various ethnicities lower IQ and other ethnicities higher IQ. Let's try and look at it as the positive. But that feels really racially charged, and but if you're saying that the way that things are tested is potentially causing some of this discrepancy, then I would like that information. Your EQ and IQ are both super high. Thank you, Goku. I think there are I don't know if there's a test for EQ and social, but I saw this thing that basically was showing what a true, like, not a true genius, but like it was showing intelligence on with all of the things. So I'd say my mum, for example, is very, very highly intelligent because of her high EQ and her empathy. Dad is very smart, but his EQ is a little bit lower. But his IQ is really, really high. So I can't remember what it was that was showing a graph of all of the things. Just to exist, yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just fun talking about stuff. Okay, yes. If I suspend that, then I will happily continue in that case. I'm too self-aware sometimes. I think I'm too hypercritical because of my awareness. Yeah, book smart, that's one. Hi, Mike. Good to have you back here. We're just talking about IQ. My 8-year-old nephew is 130. Damn. Oh my gosh. Hopefully they do okay with their schooling as well. IQ is a stupid measure of intelligence. Yeah, that's why I haven't said what my IQ is, because I don't think that it should matter. I can't remember the exact reason for Latin being table. Something along the lines of it being a group where everyone can gather and talk around the table about interesting things. Oh, okay. That's kind of cute. And then in Spanish, it's foolish, silly, or stupid. That's so funny. I love that. That is such a good juxtaposition. Even if you're smart, it doesn't mean you're a good person as well. Exactly right. And mensa means stupid in Spanish. That is, oh, beautiful. That, like we said, IQ is stupid. Mensa and then menso. That makes sense for the Spanish connotations. You're one of my favorite gingers. Thank you so much, Ultimate. That's so cute. You're gorgeous. For the UK Mensa test, you used to sit both tests and you got the better IQ of the two to allow for people who have language visual issue, making one harder than the other. Yeah, so I suppose you could, if you could be dyslexic, then you might struggle with the language-based ones, but then you could still be very high on like pattern recognition. Do you know Cat's Eye? I know of the band Cat's Eye, yes. Pandas were created in China to eat bamboo? Well, now I know. Thank you for teaching us, Benji. Anyone who judges someone on their IQ is usually a fat turd. And that's the thing, is it's just another thing that people use as a point of comparison. But yeah, I think empaths are the best people too. EQ is emotional intelligence, Cactus John, for that. Of course, Nine Fox. I think it's been pretty chill, so you're right. Oh, I will say this word, Christian, if you can tell me what it means. I suppose I can look it up myself. If I could spell, apparently I can't even type. I love to see Clem go full classic punk with a mohawk, battle jacket and patches and jeans. That'd be rad and a bit of a departure from the current look. I think if I shave my head properly, that I will have to at least get a faux mohawk. And yes, I could theoretically hide all of this under a wig, but it would be easier if my head's already bald, you know? I remember researching how to join Mensa much harder back before the internet. That would have been for sure, see mama. Now I can just look it up. Yes, you can get some sleep if you want, Rob. But, Nine Fox is closer to my time zone. Oh, you saw the New Zealand snack! Oh my gosh, it's so silly. That was something that happened live on stream, and I was like, I guess that's what I have to edit, and I've got a lot of comments on it. I wasn't sure about posting it because I still watch it. I'm like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe I said that, but a lot of people will find it very funny, so I'm glad. Hi, Gilgamesh. I had a prodigy as a friend. The speed of learning was the most notable. Yes, 100%. Going fluent in a language in just weeks was insane to watch. Yes, and that is something that I find particularly fascinating because I think that there are a lot of people who learn study skills where a gifted child wouldn't necessarily do so. I watched Healthy Gamer GG, who's a Dr. K, clinical psychologist, does a lot of really interesting commentary. They did a section on gifted kids and why they struggle in university or even in high school, because they basically coast in primary school where they pick up on everything and they just are fine. They don't have to study or anything. And then early high school, it's kind of the same. But then it gets to late high school and things are harder, and they're no longer just, and especially in university too, they're no longer just passing tests, but they haven't learned any of the studying skills that the less intelligent have already learned. And so then they get outperformed by technically like less smart people, but the same people now have the skills to make up for that. And so then that passes over into university as well, where people who learned how to study in high school are outperforming just smart people. So if you are a gifted individual and you're in high school, consider learning how to study even if you are doing fine with your test, because you're going to find that you go to university and there are a lot of gifted people, and you're just going to be another one of the pack. So learn how to study early. Our pseudo Nick, that's you. Yeah, I know a lot of people can be confronted because it's like, oh my God, that's me. If your grandson has a 130 IQ, my question is, can he count cards? We need to get together. Adorable. And then we had, where was this? IQ tests are only good for knowing how good a person is at taking IQ tests. Exactly. I genuinely know for a fact, because I looked it up, is you can study for an IQ test. Isn't that crazy? So you can skew your IQ. Why not EI the same way? Because I guess intelligence quotient? What does IQ stand for? Then we can see what IQ, what EQ. It must be emotional. Yeah, it must be quotient as well, right? EQ. EQ is also quotient. There we go. But yeah, we're all different. Exactly right, Sick. I'm less dexic. Sean, that's very funny. I have a boopable nose. Well, thank you. I think that's kind of cute. Why not? When I first started working, I was invited by a member to be tested as Cactus John. Oh, really? They said it was the only way you could get in, and it was to be invited. This was late 90s, early 2000s. For the Mensa. Gotcha. Being empathetic doesn't mean being social either. It just means being better receptors, which can be overwhelming. Yeah, if you're taking on the pain of others or even the joy of others, then that you're literally doubling, if not tripling, if not more, your emotional regulation. Yeah, I could have a nice faux hawk, I agree. Nephew tried to walk out of his school. He said he wasn't learning anything. I like your nephew. Shaving your head is always dangerous. That's how you find out if you have a weird shaped head. I already know I have a weird shaped head, so I would be going into it with that knowledge well and truly. If you shave your head, If you shave your head, don't do it in the middle of summer or winter. Summer, you burn really easy, and winter, you really feel it. Okay, so spring or autumn is the time to shave the head. Can confirm this as facts. I didn't learn to study till college. I broke the curve on the test I studied for, and it was so weird. Ooh. I got to uni not knowing how to learn and how to study properly. It was jarring. There it is. No, I don't listen to Tame Impala, Travis. I remember my preschool teacher yelling at me. You just told me the answer. What did you just say? You can be my queen. Does that mean you are hooking me up with your king? Yeah, exhausting, exactly. Phantom, I'm new. Well, hi. Uni is a scam. You don't have to apologize. I've spoken about I want to go to university at some point, but by choice. But yes, I can already imagine where this is going. If you want to speak smart and be in that circle, go to uni. Skill sets make the world go round, and the smart ones tend to play management. Yeah, and then they get paid really, really highly for it. And it's like, why does this position exist for you to just be in back-to-back meetings and then go for a social networking lunch? Anyway, that's not uni's fault necessarily, because I do know a lot of scientists, and I shouldn't say a lot of scientists. I do know scientists, and I think that those types uni is very, very well suited for. First time I shaved my legs was midwinter. Oh, you would definitely not have been used to it. Yes, yeah, my dad's German, so even just one generation behind Miami. I have a European ancestor. Can you call your parents ancestors? Is ancestors implying several generations back? The Germans, yeah. I am a German. That was more Scandinavian. Weird shaped head means you're living an interesting life, or so says the great Buddha. Wow, shout out to Buddha. What I realize is that anyone who's going to uni becomes a worker for 50 years, you reckon? But is that not any people who don't go to uni as well, like laborers? Or are you saying that laborers could leave earlier? Yeah, I love learning as well. That's why I want to go to university. Also, we are about to hit an ad break on the Twitch stream. Just a heads up. I'm not going to pause for the ads, but I just wanted to give a little FYI. You have the most beautiful eyebrows on YouTube. Thanks for noticing. Thanks. I really appreciate that. I think university can be worth it. But when you get tens of thousands of dollars into debt, literally a lifetime debt, and then not necessarily a job out of it, I do think that it can be tough. So I think that for me, I'm glad I didn't go to university straight out of school. But I still want to go and learn some things. And my mum has several degrees because she's the same, where she just loves learning. And that's kind of where I picked up on it, where I just want to learn, and learn from the experts. When I heard Clem reading Cactus John's one, I had a moment of confusion because I was pretty sure I hadn't actually written that in chat. Oh, see, mama. See, yeah, people are understanding and relating to the situation. Sarian says, I was gifted, but I knew I needed to be studious. Yes, very good. However, my intelligence covered my rampant PI ADHD. So which one is PI? I'm not familiar with that acronym. I know ADHD, of course, but PI I'm not familiar with. It would have been served by someone noticing that. And isn't that crazy? And we can't put it on teachers to pick up on mental what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's not onto a teacher to diagnose a child. They didn't study psychology. They shouldn't necessarily be able to pick up an autistic or a ADHD kid or anything else, even dyslexia. But I do wish that there were more tools in those teachers' arsenals, because there are some teachers who are like, something, like, I might not be able to diagnose this, but this kid is struggling with something, and I would suggest they find assistance with it, and then that's where they can get that diagnosis. Because, yeah, but the fact that no one noticed what you were going through, Sarian, I think it can be tough, especially if people are high functioning, as they say. I want to do geology. I like rocks too. Okay, just scrolling through. Computer science can be learned online these days as well. That's a really good point. University creates workers that never question anything. Drones. I see what you mean. I do understand where you're coming from. We're just talking about university fan tonight. I do understand where you're coming from. Because I feel like even before the university thinkable, and so maybe this will put you down more into that side of things, is I think that the never questioning happens before university, because these same people are they are told go to university and they end up in this lifetime debt, and because that's just like what you do after high school, right? You just go. So I think that it happens even earlier in schools, kind of like a I don't want to say like a grooming, like an indoctrinating. I think grooming is a little bit too intense, but like it's well, you go to school, you go to university, you end up in a lifetime debt. Obviously not in countries that have tertiary education as free. And so I'll give that one to you, Thinkable. I want to shave my legs for wrestling. Don't shave your legs. I like shaving my legs. I feel like I might have to do a little bit of that myself. My knee. I've got my hairy knee. Ancestors implies not alive. Cheers for that one. I'm well, gamers. How are you? Immediate ancestors. Yeah, it could be there. Hallo aus Deutschland. Kommst du aus Deutschland? Oder willst du nur Deutsch sprechen, so du kannst mit mir, was ist es, like look fancy, boasting, but wo in Deutschland? My Deutsch ist nicht so gut, aber es will mir üben. I think that college is better suited for older students, people ready to learn. Lots of folks come in at such a young age and aren't ready. Yeah, they don't even know what they want to study. I say this as someone who taught as well. Yeah, I relate to that. I chose not to go to university young, and I'm glad I didn't, because I would have ended up doing something that I wouldn't have wanted to do, really. And so now I can go in with more choice and autonomy. Autonomy is one of my biggest values, I think. And so going into uni now would be like a very conscious decision, rather than because one was just told to go. You'd like my nephew? He was quizzing us in the car. Yeah, that sounds exactly like my kind of guy. I'm the banger-ranger. Good for you. Is the camera refocusing? It shouldn't be. If I move like backwards and stuff, but if it's just here, it shouldn't be refocusing. Hi, Cody Cameron. More like sad break. Consider subscribing. That's adorable. Real world experience is really good for sure. Tens of thousands. That's cute. In the US, I think they said the current graduates are close to 100K. Oh, I had 80K in debt. Oh my God. It's worse than I thought. Oh, yeah. Also, Rubber Ducky, hi, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the 51 months. Jeepers. Guys, I'm so sorry. Study in the first world countries. Yeah, not like USA. Sorry for triggering any Americans, but anyway, hopefully you can understand from the laugh that I was being facetious. My dude, look at the average leerings of people out of college, but I think this is meant to say earnings. The debt is there, but it is able to be paid off. I'm passionate about people to go to college. I too want people to go to college, but I don't want it to be at the expense of a lifetime debt. And so with that, that's why I praise a lot of the countries that have university and tertiary education as free, like it used to be before it was privatized. And in that sense, yeah, go for it. And that it doesn't matter if you end up doing a degree that you don't necessarily end up using because you're also not in debt. So I think that if a government is so adamant that people need to go to university to get a job, then like primary and high school, it should be free. I call my parents my ancestral home. I'm insufferable. Parents' house, sorry. That's so cute. I like it. I like that a lot. Yeah, and so that's my understanding as well from Cactus John, is that people can't pay off a debt. In fact, that's something that Biden did, right? And I don't want to get into like Joe Biden, Trump, like that is not a segue to now express opinions on an American president. I'm just saying Biden, like, can someone give me a fact, not an opinion, if Biden was supposed to clear up some debt, right? That was something that he was doing in his term, is my understanding, because people couldn't couldn't pay it off. Yeah, I think Scandinavia still, and some European ones, some EU have it free. Even Germany I thought was meant to be free, but I have to look that up. Hi, how you going, Yvonne? A president did try to clear. Okay, so I wasn't sure if it happened. So he tried to. Oh, the Supreme Court said no? Wow. Well, that sucks. I must have missed that part of the information, because I think I would have seen that, like, we're going to clear the debts. And then I just assumed it happened. Yeah, I could understand having opinions now. But we won't go down there. Okay, so school shows other things. It shows you can show up somewhere for 4 years, do basic tasks if you gets you ready in many more ways than just knowledge, but whatever, don't go. No, so I completely agree with that, Rob. I do agree with that, but I think that can be done in high school as well. And you keep in mind that I am not saying don't go. I don't want people to think that my opinion is don't go to university. My opinion is that a lot of people are told to go to university, and it becomes less of an autonomy. Thank you, Everest. It's just meant to be a meme of a Christopher Walken meme. I think that there are a lot of people who do benefit from it, but we can't ignore the crippling debt that it puts people in as well. I thought, and as someone who didn't go to university, I think that I have a lot of these skills going to work. Like, you can learn that going to a job, right? Of turning up and whatnot. I don't think that university necessarily has to teach you basics, like these basic skills, when a job can do that too. Howdy, hello. University actually forces critical thinking upon you, at least in science. Oh, that's good though. See, that is something that I wouldn't say a workplace could offer. A workplace definitely offers routine and responsibility, and consequences of not turning up. But critical thinking is a big one that people are saying that we're struggling with these days. Right. So the university creating drones is more a commentary on the other individual. Oh, I'm quite far behind. Let me catch up. Here's some straight facts for US college debt. I'm 41 and just paid off my debts. I borrowed about 30 to 35K, and in the end I paid back 75. What? How is the interest on that so high? What? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. What? See, okay. Yeah, see, Boba, that's an interesting point. Maybe, and if we can't make college or university free, maybe we can at least make it so there's no interest on it. I can understand adjusting for inflation, but to be paying 75K versus your 35, that's far over inflation. Wow. Yes, and see, science that I mentioned scientists earlier as well. I think that if you want to be a scientist, you basically have to go to uni. But that is because you want to be a scientist, so you went to uni. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. As long as it's getting paid, exactly. That I think that you could potentially do like a if it's getting paid off over time, but if you miss a payment, then that's where you could have a penalization. But I'm more leaning towards not adjusting for it either. Hi, Matt. Good morning. Jeepers. Yeah, the private companies. And that's the problem, right? Is it's privatization. That's not just in America. That's in a lot of countries. Yeah, I think tying to the government too. Ah, thank you, Pseudonic, for the clarification there. Oh my god, that's just blown my mind. That's just blown my mind. Yeah, it's milking college students like a cash cow. It's only part of this problem. It's the ways so people will join the military for college benefits. It keeps fresh body. Oh, that is an interesting point. Obviously, it is a theory that maybe a lot of people hold. So I'm not going to say it's true or not true, but I can understand the idea behind it, because in US you get benefits if you sign up for the military, and or US being the largest country in the world for military spending, of course they would want people to sign up. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna scroll through a lot of the messages that I haven't read yet. So if everyone could try and refrain from saying too much interesting information, then I would be appreciated. People who never went to college and say college makes you not question things will never cease to amaze me, because the reality is literally the opposite. Is the most open-minded and question-driven community you'll ever be a part in your life. I think that's a really nice way of looking at it. I do think that I can understand where the person was coming from. They're not here anymore. So the person who was saying that the universities and colleges create drones, we don't have to argue for them. But what I will say is I understand people who might have some of that viewpoint, because I do think that there is a pathway, and I say this from personal and anecdotal experience, is that I was basically suggested to go to university, and I chose not to. And for me, that was really, really important. And for me, that helped me indulge and be more open-minded, because I was being more self-reflective. I think that that was more important for me. And simultaneously, I can see a lot of my peers who did go to university who have more narrow-minded thinking than I do. And I can see from their echo chamber that this is kind of what they are told to think on the world, rather than how the world is operating. And look at that in terms of politicians. There are a lot of like career politicians who they are wealthy, they go to university, and then they become leaders of our countries without having necessarily lived the experiences of the underprivileged. And so the universities that they would go to are not able to show them these other life experiences. Universities, however, can, as Tokazim said, teach you some critical thinking, and that's really beautiful. They can also have access to knowledge that you don't necessarily have access to. That is why a big point that I've said, I want to go to university, but I'm glad I didn't go straight out of school. Because now I wouldn't be in debt, and I would be on a very, very different path. But when I do choose to go to university, it's when I'm ready for it, rather than because of this idea of just going straight out of school. Some people that can work for if they're a bit directionless, but I think that it is unfair that these people who are directionless also end up in debt. And then struggle to get jobs. Like, speak to a lot of the Gen Zers and that are just coming out of university. They're really struggling with getting an entry-level job, and so that's another thing of this guarantee that university will get you a job is now not true. And I've seen that with people in my peer group as well, where they really struggled outside of uni. And then similarly, people who didn't go to uni are some of the more, well, I shouldn't say more intelligent, but they are very intelligent, very aware of how things are operating in the world. C Mama is absolutely correct. A lot of people's university experiences are very different. Some people will love it. Some people will hate it. I know that for me, that if I would have gone to university, I think I would have done well, but I would have been miserable. And I know that. I really, really do. And I still want to go. And that's why I'm not saying people shouldn't go to uni. I'm just aware that it's a different type of experience that people have to people who don't go to uni. And I think understanding all of these are really cool. Ooh, I like that. The beginning of one's professional life rather than the end of their education. That's kind of a fun way of looking at it. I like that. Where it's like, okay, you've had the education is supposed to end at high school, and then you can choose to go into trades, workforce, figure out that. And then it's like, okay, well, now I want to go into this area. And that's where you will start going to university. But yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of people who just, want to who just go into it because of this idea of like earning a whole bunch of money. Scientists, I think I've already said this is a place where there are a lot of people who already know that they love science, and then of course university is a great place for that. And people who want to be in a specific field, I think it works well. Yeah, and see, a big issue I have is the price of it, the privatization as well. Okay, so let me catch up with other things. I'm not sure, because I think like some of these comments, I'm not sure if they're directed at me or directed at someone else in the community. And I can see you guys are having your own conversations as well, which is very nice to see. But I am very, very behind. Some universities here are starting to provide free education. That's awesome. So, but you have to apply for it. That's fair enough. Okay. The further you go down a road, the harder it becomes to see. Everything is automated. Things should be dirt cheap and abundant, but the company don't want that. That's also, yeah, exactly. Could never decide what I would have wanted to study. Had gone on to further education after high school. Yeah, I am the same, and so that's why if I go now, it would be for a different reason. Oh, PI, thank you for that one, Sari, and I've just read that one. So the fever is actually just a reference to a Christopher Walken meme of cowbell, basically. Uni is the conversation today, yeah, apparently. But I feel like I am very behind on the conversation now, so I do apologize for that. I'm still learning about how these things work. But in terms of when people have a lot of things to share. And that's one of the things I love about my live streaming is giving a platform for other people to kind of share their opinions. But I'm still learning how to facilitate these things. I'm 100 messages behind. I can see it says 100 new messages. It stresses me out, okay? Do you guys, would it be easier if I show you where I am? Maybe that's something that I could work on. And that way you can read alongside me. Be $100, frick, not this fine, because I can read here, right? But anything in between where my chat messages and here is there. Well, you say reply to live messages as you see them, but that's how we got here. Is I can't reply to all of them quick enough. And if I do, then it doesn't have any substance or flair of my own personality, you know? I don't keep up, that's the thing. That's true. Slow burn. Hi, hello. Exactly, and my mods were really my mods were really yeah. The university didn't teach me how to keep up with a chat with a live chat. Oh well, good for you. It must be hot where you are for many reasons. Cut your hair anyway. So I think what I'll do, and maybe this is something that I could do in the future, because obviously what you see here is different to what I see. I don't know. No, it's just for fun, Rob. I could maybe show you where I am. So this is basically... Oopsies. I didn't mean to make that so large. I just wanted to move it. So I basically, when things are... So this is my message box, my chat box. And when I read, if I like scroll back... And then it just pauses. You can see it's paused. But then you can see 121 new messages. Oh, shit. Okay. Thanks, Boba. Oh. I can't believe that you saw that. That's so embarrassing. I really didn't mean... Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to have my prawn tab open. Oh, wow. That's I'm feeling really, really flustered now. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you guys can look at my prawn too. But yes, it's Melania from Elden Ring. You got it. Also, that was what you call acting. It's not that mods don't like Chinese. It's that mods are making sure that it's English only in the chat. We have an English only possibility. So that's what it is. Planning a meme about it. I love that, Siwa. So anyway, so what I'll do is I will continue chatting as I normally do, and you guys can comment as you normally do, but I will show you where I am. Maybe I should do a timestamp. Would that be the thing that I should do? Oh, ooh. Ooh, maybe that will give me an indication on how far behind I am. I'm well, Pyro. How are you? See, now you can see that it's... And this is usually what I do. I'm like, oh, it is, it's jumped down to the bottom. Ooh! So then I scroll up and find where I was, wherever that was. And then this will see that I'm 20. Well, that one was not where we were. Oh, here we go. So now I can see that I am, what's the time now? 9:32. Ah, I'm 20 minutes behind. Okay, this could be a game changer. I know this is yeah, we're seeing how the machine works. This might be a good way to keep me on track, because I often don't have the timestamps because I'm like, it's just extra fluff, and you can see it pushes everything over. So it anyway. But maybe that will help me stay on track, where I'm like, ooh, okay, 20 minutes behind is a long time to be behind. So I do feel like this could help. I think that this could help a lot, because then it will give me more incentive to kind of move through. Time zones continue to befuddle me. That's cute. Oh, thank you, Charlene. But that's the thing is, some people's live stream chats will be slower. I think that one of the things I love about my live stream is how engaged you guys get in the conversations, and even not just with me, but with one another. I think it is really, really something that I love. Like I love it. It brings me so much joy in that sense. And so it is something that I want to get better at keeping on top of these things. And I think that this little timestamp might be able to help me out, because then, like I said, it can give me a bit more incentive to push through a little bit. And I saw that some people were agreeing as well. So sometimes when I just see like the bigger chunks of people agreeing, then I just scroll. But yeah, this one, I agree. People rush into things straight after school because someone else wants to them too. That was my experience for sure. And that's why I think it's really good for people to have the autonomy. I do know Terraria, but I don't play it at the moment. I'm wondering if I can do this a little bit different, because then it's not had a whole bunch of things. 1 moment, please. Add existing, ignore, and then we can do it like this. What do you guys reckon? So we have the where I am. I'll make it a bit smaller. This one here is where I am, and this is where you guys are. Maybe we got something here. So you guys can see the difference, at least for now. This is not going to be an ongoing thing, but anyone new is going to be confused. I think it works for now, but only for now. Only for now. I'm well no, Orium. Okay. This one I think is really funny. I'm too European to comprehend the concept of having to pay for education. One of the reasons I want to get my German passport is so that I can go to university with lower costs, if not free. College is something like high school, except choosing a preferred degree. There are some people who believe college makes people dumber. And yes, that's what that other person was saying. But I don't think it makes people dumber. I think that it is just more about following a guide that doesn't work for everyone, and we can allow that nuance. And so I think it's great that people can go to university, but I also feel like it sucks for people who end up in debt. And I've said that a few times, so I'll try and not repeat that a lot. If we can afford to send money to other countries, uni should be free. Oh, that's the USA experience. Should make companies pay for your education to help become better workers. And I know some people actually do this. Some companies do have grants for people who want to further their education, but obviously that is not everyone. This is interesting. You should go see what people in history were doing at 16 to 18. Imagine saying 18 isn't old enough to know what you want to study, or at 20 like you can in the US. I still think that, like, as a 30-year-old, I don't know what I want to study. I do think that it is unfair to expect people to know what they want to study when they are told the same subjects over and over again in high school, and told, like, make sure to go get these jobs or these types of degrees, when it would be nice to have a little bit more autonomy. I think, but this is also kind of the point, Rob, is that people are encouraged to go to the expensive ones because that is what they feel like is the proper path of going to the the words are escaping me, the USA ones, like Stanford and Harvard, Ivy League. So they are encouraged to try and go to the Ivy League schools because they are because that is what is supposed to be the most prestigious, the one that is going to guarantee you a high income, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so if you're suggesting that people should go to cheaper schools, that is actually, in a way, I think, agreeing to my point of there should be flexibility and there should be autonomy and there should be this respect that is offered to people who take that route. But a lot of that respect is not offered because of the expectation of being in the highest, most prestigious, and therefore most expensive schools. And that is not offered to everyone. So yes, I completely agree that there are cheaper options, but when you're told that the only option are these higher ones and that it's a failure if you don't get accepted, and then that's where it is. But Rob is also not from USA, Cactus John. So I think that's another thing to consider is that similar to what was said up here, that it can also be different experiences. Of course, Everest, please go get some naps in. That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. And stand by, I'm saying you can reach that level of respect if you can't pay your way. There are other options. And yes, and so I am also saying that too. And but a lot of people will not feel that way because of the rhetoric that is passed on to them. Like that is what I am implying to, is that they don't feel like there are other ways. Like you yourself obviously are aware of that, you know, that like that you are aware of that, but others are not. And so I'm just kind of thinking of it from a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily hold the same opinion. So I hold the same opinion as you, but I know that there are a lot of people who just don't see that. And I am being aware of that. Yeah, most people, it's not even that they don't know, it's that they think it is not an option. And they just straight up are like, it's Harvard or nothing. And we know that that's not the case. But the people who are in this, and this is my point, is this like indoctrination and molding of like, that is what you must do, otherwise you're a failure. It is a lot of pressure to put on a teenager. Yes, and I want it to be redo. Yes, yeah. So we are on the same page. Sneaking looking at random stuff in the kitchen? How dare you come in here and be so like a peeping Tom. We're just talking about universities in reference to what's happening here, Nick. Oh, it's twinned up with MIT. Yeah, that's awesome. But that's the thing, is like it is that recognition that some university degrees hold more weight than others. So and that kind of sucks. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. They don't want so American education is bad on purpose. They don't want an educated population. I know some people have this theory as well. It's not one that I feel like I can weigh in on, though. If that happened, the working class would stop voting against their best interests. I know some people definitely have this this as well. This, I also feel like that kind of theory goes against the idea of like molded thinking from university in a way that I'm not saying that that's how I feel, but it is that other side of the spectrum there. That's the debt. Yeah, so that's all the debt. We can see, this is what I mean, is I can skip through some of these ones. Made it sound like a dummy. Yeah. Ooh, this is interesting, Mike. I feel like that's one that I won't try and work more on, but I. Oh, okay. So that's about the Supreme Court. Yeah, they fought against the clearing of debt. So that's really unfortunate, and that's the kind of stuff where I can understand people can be frustrated about a government's action. And that's just it. There's nothing more that we need to add on there. Howdy from Florida. Oh, thanks, Rob. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at realizing when it's someone else that is being chatted to. It's better to know what you want to study than study for the hell of it. Yeah, well, yes and no. I think that sometimes if you look at going into university when you don't know what you're doing, and then 3 years later you have a degree and you're only 21, like there is some benefit to that, and I'm not going to discount that. And so, but the problem with it is then the crippling debt that some people can experience afterwards. And so I feel like if university were to have been free in New Zealand, I probably would have gone for the hell of it, but it wasn't. So I am pleased with my decision of not going. And now if I decide to go, it will be a very conscious choice. And I will be prepared and understanding of all of the money that comes with it. Because keep in mind that a teenager, a lot of teenagers don't even have jobs. Like I know that there are many of us even here now that would have gotten their first jobs as teenagers. But not every single teenager is like that. And so some of the skills that they are not learning are financial skills. And this is something that I would like to see more of from parents and also in high school is like financial literacy. And so often they are ending up not with very good budgeting practices. They, when you first get money and you just go and spend it because it's like, whoa, I've got money now. And those are skills that are not necessarily taught in schools. If you had a school that did though, I love that. And I am so pleased that you had that. However, I don't think many of us did. And so when children are not being taught financial literacy but they are being taught to go to university and end up with a debt, I feel like that's also really unfair. Whereas now, as someone who has been in the workforce for a decade, I have made my own money. Like I've run my channel and tried to earn money through this as well. Thanks, Rian. And so if I go to university now, that I will understand what that will entail, including the debt that I will incur, because I have the financial literacy. Whereas a lot of people end up with that through university without really knowing what that means because they haven't had to worry about these things in the past. So yeah. Welcome back, Ethan. Okay, catching up here. Earnings of people from uni, as you say, are so much higher than people that don't go on crippling debt. Try working in the wages blue collars pay today. But the other thing is that they don't have necessarily debt. And I wouldn't agree with blue collar jobs. I think that a lot of people look down on blue collar jobs, and it can be a little bit of a classism issue. You can see that there are a lot of laborers that have very comfortable lives without the university degree debt. And so I think that it is it can sneak into some accidental classism of this, like, oh well, blue collar jobs, but some of these blue collar jobs actually earn very well because no one wants to do them. So I'm thinking like the oil rigs and stuff, not all of them, but it's just making sure that you are aware of what you're saying when you say blue collar jobs, basically. Yeah, exactly, Cactus John. On average, the US blue collar pay around 75K a year, and then the college educated making 65. And it's just this kind of it's this misunderstanding on what that a university degree doesn't necessarily now give you 100K. And that's where the misunderstanding comes from. Yeah, exactly, right? Oil rigs, I think, was a good example. Yeah, AI is going to start replacing a lot of these lot of jobs as well. Okay. Yeah, uni put me in debt. Here's some straight facts for US college. Oh, yes, that one we read. I don't know why Africa is getting brought into this. I went to uni, but I work at a totally different thing apart from it. Yeah, and that's a very common experience too. But uni was free. Awesome. And see, that's the thing, is didn't waste anything. And so I think that is a good, Everest, I think, is giving a good example of their university experience is very different to like a USA university experience. UK, Australia, New Zealand also have privatized education. And so I think this is a really a nice way of like, yeah, like I don't use my degree, but I didn't waste anything. And now they also have that degree, which I think is really beneficial. And this is kind of what my point is, that if university is so important, it should be free. If it is such a necessity, it should be free. And then maybe like a master's degree, or that could be something that isn't necessarily free, but should be paid for by the work and the field that you're going into, and so on and so forth. Hi, Narba. Yes, the degrees can also have varying prices as well. Okay. Biggest problem with universities, if your workplace demands, oh yes, shouldn't they pay for the degree as well? But I guess that you have, it's kind of like a proving that you want to be in the industry in a way. Maybe there's something there. It's like, well, I don't want to pay for a, oh, someone else actually said this a few streams ago, which taught me a lot. It was I know the concept. I'm just trying to repeat it, how they did it, because they said it really eloquently. The return on investment. And so the idea of making university free for everyone, that is not necessarily a good return on investment. Because there'll be some people who will go and get a degree, or they won't be able to complete the degree. And I understand that is a bad investment. I don't think that I hold the opinion that it's now discounts the idea of making an undergrad degree not free. But I feel like this would be more understandable. Of a workplace wouldn't necessarily know if you are a good return on investment. So why would they pay for your degree? Does that now mean that you get a work like an internship at 18 when you, and so then is your high school like, are you applying for a job rather than applying for a university, and then you apply for that job and then they pay for your university? Like, there are a lot of steps there, which I don't hate, but it is so far from what our current society is that it would be hard to work through that. When I went to university, I had to pass university entrance to get in. Yes, that's the one. So maybe there'd be something like that. I think that when I finished school, it was basically the same. Or did you have like an exam for UE? Because when I finished high school, it was basically you have to have the NCEA requirements, and then that gives you university entrance. It's just whether or not you want to go into a specific field is where it's like, well, we expect you to have done this subject in school. Okay. Yeah, I think the no interest as well. We let private companies offer loans. It should be all through the government. Yeah, that's about the things as well. I think that we can scroll through a lot of this. Okay. Yes, I know of these ones, Mike, but I can't. I can't say that I've actually really watched them, or even read them as well. Top of the morning. Colleges and retirement homes should have massive overhauls globally. Yeah, so like a change up to the system. And that's the thing, is I'm not saying that we necessarily have the answers, but that's why the people who are in these positions are supposed to have the answers. This is nice though. I know that college can offer a lot of different minds in the same place, and that can be really nice. But I and the critical thinking was something that was brought up before. But I also think that I've seen a lot of people come out of college and university who have quite single-minded thinking, and the university didn't help them with that. In fact, it drove them a different direction. But I can see that it can be helpful. Like, there's a reason I want to go to university, right? I want to be amongst these people too. My positive thing is that the alumni still have friends who help me out whenever I need. That's so beautiful. I like that a lot. Lots of people see that college degree is being undervalued. Why sign a portion of your life away for something that is losing value? I like this. I like this. Yeah, I need a sponsorship. Hey. Hi, Bunny. Bunny, is university free where you are? Because if so, maybe I'll come join you in your country one day. Molecular biology, that's so cool. I'm still a dumbass with mathematics too. I love that. So yeah, in that case, was your degree free as well? Okay. I don't think kids should be advised to go to uni without having a few years of work experience. And so some people might have that in high school, and I think that can be okay. But yeah, I would like to see some people with some work experience too. I think that it should be mandatory that every single person works in a hospitality job at one point in their life. You know, like how some countries have mandatory military service? I think that we should have mandatory hospitality service. Because then people would hopefully be more empathetic to hospitality workers, because it's like, I've been there. I get it. I understand. That is my my hot take. That is what I would implement if I were in government. Nice, Bunny. Okay. It's like 20 euros per semester for the student union. I might come to your country when I get my EU passport. If you're not Austrian, I believe it's so even for the EU, because I would be on a German passport. Because I really was thinking that it would be cool to study in Germany or Austria, because I want to become fluent in German as well. Also, Bunny, I actually had a question. I'd like to hijack your experience. When I was in southern Austria, my friend had a question that I just realized I couldn't answer. She's like, "What do you call like German speakers? Because Austrians speak German, but you call them Austrians." And so like, is there a way to pool them together? And my answer was kind of like, no, the same way you're not like, oh, an American and a British are in the same pool. They're just both English speakers. There's not really a more succinct word. Because I just kept on calling her out. She's like, oh, you know the Germans. I was like, no, the Austrians. We're in Austria, honey. So I wanted to know if there is one. Like francophones, but German. Francophones, is that French? Which one is that? I didn't think so either. And she kind of got it when I talked about the Brits. Like, you don't put a Brit and an Australian together. They just also speak English. Yeah, and that's the thing, is you wouldn't want it, right? You're like, don't lump me in with the Germans, thank you. I'm well, Georgie. How are you? Okay. Yeah, but see, Mum, if you can teach me francophones, that would be good.
Okay, my son got a scholarship to uni right out of high school. He stayed for a year and decided he didn't like it, so he has a debt to pay off and no degree. My daughter had a crappy time in high school. After a few years, she got her adult entrance and is now studying for a doctorate that she knows she wants to do, getting high distinctions because she loves the subject and wants to do it for the rest of her life. And I think that this, your daughter's experience is definitely more how I would feel as well. I think if I had gone to university straight out of school, I would have ended up doing something that I wasn't, like, I would have done fine in, but I wasn't enjoying it. Whereas now, as an adult, or as an older adult, I will have a similar thing where I know that the subject I'm doing is what I want to do, and hopefully I will get high marks for it because of that passion as well. Thanks, Beyond. We'll see you later. University teaches you what you want, but isn't that contradictory? Oh, hello, Froggy Raid! Welcome on in! Hello, Raiders! I hope you had a wonderful stream. Yeah, I thought French as well, Rob. I hope you had a wonderful stream. Hi, Raiders! Hello, hello, hello! I wonder what happens if I do that. Okay, well, not what I wanted it to do, so I will do it like this so we get a little bit more obvious. Hi friends, it's such a pleasure to have you here. How was your stream? Oh, also, if you just need to head off, just head off. Just go. Get out of here. Don't stick around. If you need to go get some rest, go. Be gone with you. But if you have an opportunity, can someone let us know what you were streaming today? And while we wait for some of those responses, I'll give a little bit of a FYI on who I am. You can call me Clem rather than Exclamendine. I'm a Just Chatting streamer. I will be playing some Red Dead Redemption a little bit later on. But Just Chatting is the bulk of what I do. And at the moment, we are talking about university. And so it wasn't necessarily intentional. It's just kind of got to that conversation. I would say that what we do around here is we facilitate conversation and just share opinions. We all come to the table, we share our opinions, and hopefully don't get too rowdy. So yeah, that's me. A terrible Fortnite sesh, you poor thing. Yeah, go Div. And enjoy church. Yeah, do your thing. We doxed my hacker and talked to Ricky Gervais. What a way to explain what was going on. And then just going, bye. That sounds wonderful. Hi, Iman. Yes, I remember you. That sounds so funny. Oh my gosh. I love it. So, that it's just so many questions, you know? So many questions. Anyway, guys, so if you want to stick around, we're talking about university. I'm going back and reading some of the messages that I missed earlier, so you can, you're welcome to share your own opinions. I am a little bit behind chat, so just keep that in mind, that I will get there eventually, but patience is your virtue. Is there anything else that I want to say? Just thank you for the follows. It's really a pleasure to have you guys here, and you'll pick up very quickly on what the style of the live stream is over here. We just yap. One guy from chat helped him dox a hacker and Ricky Gervais wants to buy a shed from him. What? Why does Ricky Gervais want to buy a shed? You mean the Ricky Gervais? What the heck? Iman, just, you know where I remember you from. Yes, if it's sleep time, go sleep. Please. Oh, but you're saying you can't. Well, then stick around. That's so crazy. He just harassed him. That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like that is appropriate as well. No freaking way. And I want to buy a shed. That's cool. Good night. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. How bizarre. I'll have to come and hang out and get the full story. But no, it's a pleasure, Kevin. Thank you. Good for you, Alan. Good for you. But we're really pleased that you have a platform that you can share this wonderful news, that we can celebrate in this endeavor together. You'll make it sound like flirting. Is it not flirting? Just keep that in mind. Of course, Mike. Thank you so much. Appreciate you popping in. Out of respect, I like it. All right, so What we're gonna do is we're gonna jump back into the university talk. So you guys are welcome to join. If you want to use this as your opportunity to dip after the raid, then go for it. Yeah, technically, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. It doesn't have to not sound like flirting. Ricky Gervais loves sheds confirmed. But seriously, thank you guys so much for the raid. It is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for the follows as well. And like I said, if you want to use this as your opportunity to go find another streamer that you usually watch at this time, if you want to stick around, awesome. If you want to go to bed, awesome. We're just going to jump straight back into it. But much appreciated. Let's do it! So this is basically an FYI. I'm 5'7", which is about 170. I'm just over 5'7", so 171 centimeters, Charlene. I know, Cactus John. That is basically my live stream in a nutshell. I was like, I don't have anything to talk about today, and now we've spent hours talking about university. So this here is my chat box and what I'm reading. So I'm going to try and speed run through this. It won't be speedy. And then we will play some Red Dead Redemption because it's only 10 in the morning for me. I think that's the other thing is when it's so early for me, that's why I don't really mind. But I know it's not early for a lot of you guys. You look 5'5". I don't know how one looks a certain height, but nonetheless. Oh yeah, we got a couple of Johns. Okie dokie. All right, let's do it. I think we need much more job replacement trials in college because I might have gone a different direction. There we go. I'm not sure if Phantom Knight's still here, so I won't worry about this. So you can see that some of these things I'll skip over. Uni should be, oh yeah, this one, the beginning of the professional life. I think that this is an interesting one. It's too expensive to be a time for exploration is a sentiment that I absolutely agree with from some fifis. Like, and if it were free, then explore away. But it is so rough. And Cactus John, from their experience, having 2 degrees that they don't use, sorry to speak on your behalf, Cactus, is a good example of that. Oh, goodness gracious me. I family in New Zealand, no way. They took over a suburb. I love that. Okay, I wonder what the numbers with the National Guard specifically. Guard is supposed to be a state asset, can be pushed in federal service. That's why I declared war on terror all those years ago. Now the National Guard deploys more than active duty. Damn. Okay, so that's USA stuff that I won't be able to comment on. I've never gone to uni. I have high school education. I struggle to be able to find outside, but a fast food place to work. The only problem is when I have applied and worked for a few of these places, I was told I was not fast enough to keep up. I'm sorry to hear that, Cody Cameron, but at least you have some assets available to you, so that's good. Different perspective due to different experiences for sure. Mine is very optimistic and wholesome. I love that from Everest. It's hard. This is basically about people's experiences at university, just for those who have just come in. I had obstacles for sure, and I didn't have good grades, but the memories there have been extremely positive. That's beautiful. I found a job I really enjoyed about 2 years after graduating and have been doing that for over 15 years. Okay, so you're doing okay with it. Yep. If it's a choice between if I get an education to get a good job versus if I get a trade job so I can buy a house and repair said house myself, all I've found in my friends is a monstrous amount of debt for people in their 30s with broken bodies. Yeah, no one wins. That's also a very good point. So, universal basic income? Is that where we're going to end this conversation? Is that where we're going to do? Is that where we're heading towards? We just have that as the pinned comment. No one wins. University is vastly overpriced in many countries. Still worth going. A uni education is just a piece of paper. It's more than just a piece of paper for your resume. Life is much nicer if you aren't a moron. But we have to remember that some people are, unfortunately. I think kids start school too soon and the system of education is set up wrong. Age doesn't determine intelligence. This I absolutely agree with for sure. But I'm not so sure that school starts too soon. I don't think that that's one that I agree with. I think that it's more about the types of things that we're learning in school not necessarily useful for when you leave school. If someone let me do entry-level job nonsense I had to do post-graduation, I would not have chosen science. I washed glassware by hand Before being allowed into a lab. Wait, let me read this again. If someone let me do the entry-level job nonsense I had to do post-graduation, I would not have chosen science. Okay, so now I have the better intonation. So washing glassware was what allowed you to be in a lab? What the heck? No. I think it was just intonation, and I feel like the second time I read that, it was more understanding. So you're saying that your entry-level job got you into science? Like, that was it. So for the clarification, it inspired you to go into science. Is that what you're telling me? Hey guys, hi. It reminds me, while you're on your Red Dead Redemption arc, let's watch Cactus Jack. I don't know Cactus Jack. I know nothing about this one. Yeah, when we're well past needing factory workers, especially with AI and robotics. Not even AI, it was just robotics. My first lab job was just the bottom level. Oh, okay, so this is the first lab job. But you're saying that it still helped you continue into science. All right. Okay. Oh, you were gonna be a cop. What the heck? I hated the internal mentality. Yeah, so I know that that's a big issue over there as well, with the us versus them. College is something like high school, except choosing a preferred degree. Yes, I like this, but some people won't know that. And for the people who do know what they want to study, I think it's awesome. So, for example, I keep on going back to science because I know a lot of scientists are like, yep, I loved this in school. I want to keep doing this. Whereas I feel like some people who go into arts or business, they're kind of just getting something. They're kind of like, whereas science and medicine is another good example. You just keep on chugging away, and that's where you end up in the doctorates as well. And it is a long-term commitment that well extends past undergraduate degree. Whereas I think a lot of people's undergraduate degree, they don't often go on to a master's or a post-grad master's doctorate, because it's just kind of like, just kind of piece together these things to try and get a business degree or arts degree. Catastack is Arnie. Okay. All right. That sounds like fun. Hi, Cyan. I love studying STEM. I do R&D now, and I don't know what R&D is. Sorry, Rian. If you're able to explain R&D, then that would be very helpful. Before I was allowed to be a microbiologist, I am today. I had to wash dishes and work second shift. Oh my gosh. So do you feel like that's something that you benefited from having? I think is the thing that I just wanted to double check. Research and development. Cheers. Kind of wish I had gone to college to be a teacher, but I'm too neurodivergent to have stood any more time at academia. I feel like I might be in a similar boat, but I want to go to university. I didn't go outside of high school, but I do want to go at some point. A Groupon? Surely not. Surely not. Just want to leave some kindness. Thank you so much. That is very kind indeed. But the wall brick. No, it's not. It's not me who built it. Yes, just randomly end without reading or replying. Bye. Okay. Yeah, emo only to catch up. But I'm happy. I'm happy. We're getting even further behind, but I think that people kind of slowed down. Hi, Clem. When I was in Iraq, my guard unit was attached to active duty Marines. They rotated out, different group rotated in. I was there the whole time. By number of times they deployed me, they had me beat. By actual time in country is kind of bored. Damn, okay. I need AI to respond. That's the one. Yes, you guys are the only thing that was open, so you guys are the prompt. And then, see, this is the other problem, is sometimes when I scroll, it just randomly skips down. So it is annoying. But I think that we are further than that. We are around here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, we're around here. Okay, scrolling. Let's just speed run it, shall we? I'm gonna lock the fuck in. I love that you're engaging in chat. That's so nice. That is really nice. I was sipping on tea in answer to that one.
When I get to 5,000 viewers, how are you keeping up? Yeah, that's the problem, right?
I'm turning 33 on Monday, and I only now decided I want to learn to ride a unicycle and join a barbershop contest. I love it. Instead of computer science as a major, but I changed it to English creative writing since that's my preferred profession. Very nice. Okay, cool. Doesn't matter what you study. Study should not necessarily be vocational. Can someone remind me what vocational means? Best decision of my life. That's awesome, Rihanna. I'm glad to hear it. I think that we actually covered a lot of these when I was like, that. This is kind of where I realized I was really behind. Case of Ivy schools, it's more about the connections you make.
That's a really good point as well. A university does allow for networking. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, vocational is directed at a specific job. Cool.
You write a little, hell yeah.
Okay. Screw the anxiety, lift weights to beat oneself down.
I studied twice after high school, once right out of school in cooking, and the other time was in my 30s as a builder. Unfortunately, I had a shit time in the workplace, so it only lasted a year. I feel like work experience is sometimes worth more than study. It can be really hard because there are people who I know who do very well in academia, but then they struggle in the workplace, often neurodivergent. People love to blame one party over the other, yeah, exactly. Never gone to uni. Oh, yeah, so this is the one that we spoke about earlier. When I got older, I asked my dad why he gave so little advice on life when I needed it the most. He said he didn't get any from his father either. I was struck by the realization that my life's trajectory was being set even before I was born. That's so sad, but it is, yeah, I understand that as well. Trade schools will never go away, I think.
I didn't know that private security with a gun is good money, though. Yeah, since COVID, I know it's a completely different. Like, I really feel for the people who went through high school during COVID. Like, it would have been some of the most tough ways to, like, in such formulative years, in such important years of your life, and you're whipped away from your socialization. I think it would have been really tough. For sure. Practical knowledge I have to do after my job was available after the education is such a slog when they tell you you don't have experience, but they also won't give you the experience. Exactly this. It's so crazy. Yeah. We have the luxury of pushing things off because people from the beginning time to the 1800s lived to 35-ish. This is actually a bit of a misconception. So people often use the mortality rate showing that it's about 35. But the reason why it's so low is because a lot of babies wouldn't survive, and a lot of children wouldn't survive, and so it would bring the mortality rate down. But the people who were surviving, they weren't dying suddenly at 35. They would often live to 60 as well. Maybe not 80, 90, 100 like we get these days, but that is one that people don't really recognize, is that the reason why we have these higher rates in, yes, 80s, but like a lot of it is from the babies and children that unfortunately were passing at early ages, and young people too, like with you'd get diseases come through and wipe out 20-year-olds, but it's not about the fact that they couldn't get people surviving after 35. It's that young people were dying more. Oh, that sucks, Rianne. Yeah, preschool as well. Oh, yeah, anything with the schooling through there would have been tough. Yeah, this is also true. There are problems where all the nice uni professors are busy with. Fair enough. Cool. I think that we have read a lot of these things, so I'm happy to skip through them a lot more. And a lot of these messages will be the raid as well. Blue collar jobs are wonderful. I come from that background. The thing is, your sweat equity only carries you so far. Your body limits. That's a good point. So and that's what someone said earlier about the broken body and no one winning, that you can't necessarily continue that long term. Okay, 65K is misconstrued as well because over 70% of homes both people work, so average household income is usually over 100K, which is more than enough.
I'm not so sure about that one, but I would have to look at what the cost of housing is and whatnot. And I know that a lot of people would say that this is not enough to sustain a family these days. But I guess it depends on where you're living. Damn. Okay. That's how they know about the private security. Working towards 150. Yeah, I just want to be useful. Fair enough. Fair enough. This is a good point too. How people learn is very different. I tend to either need a practical way to learn or at least a way for me to understand via clear analogies. Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of like trivia knowledge that you have, but something about maybe the academia is not working for you. Well-rounded education. Awesome. Oh, this is very nice. I think that I have many degrees. I'm an idiot. Plus the debt I accumulated in my college, my job I got from said college helped me pay it back. That's really, really good. I know that very few people have that experience. I'm glad that you have that at least. There was something toxic from our apartment is close to one of the options is that it might explode. Jesus, I'm sorry to hear that, Ethan. Yeah, there we go. Only 82K a year. And then I would have to look at the cost of living as well. That's the universe. Yeah, I feel like we caught up with some of these ones. We had college entrance exams too. Have you ever watched Oh, yeah. So we got these. Cool. I think that we're actually able to skim through a lot of this. There was one lot of exams. If you passed, you got UE. If you got better than that, you'd get a B bursary. Oh, a payment. Gotcha. And better again, you get an A bursary. I think scholarship exams were separate. This was in 1990, though. Neat. Academia can be single-minded and some things are taught to be the fact and the only answer when another way can exist. I like this. Yeah, it's, again, allowing the nuance for sure. There's also none of the pretend work skills are going to be useful. Yeah, I don't know what I would suggest someone to. Oh, my tea is empty. That's so sad. I don't know what someone would suggest these days because people are thinking that AI is just going to take over everything, and so even in like computer and IT degrees were super valuable at one point, and now aren't necessarily having the same value when the computers are doing those things for us. Nonetheless, I've not played Fears to Fathom. Okay, that was all about Austria. No, this does not worry me whatsoever. Some people hate that there are facts that they need to learn in college and that just can't go off manifesting whatever is the truth, which is amazing. I love it. Hold on. Some people hate that there are facts they need to learn in college and they can't just go off manifesting whatever is their truth, which is amazing. I love it, but come on. I'm not sure I understand what this one means, so I won't worry about that in particular. You are your own enemy, says Vortex. Oh, that's awesome, Cody Cameron. Glad you got some of that work experience. University teaches you what you want. If you go for math, you learn math. Opening your mind is key to anything there you learn, not just Newton, but a ton of others. So I'm not following the single-minded thing. Yeah, I think that's one that I've missed out on. So I won't be able to comment on that one because it's just too far back for me to know exactly what that was in reference to. I like to emphasize I speak Austrian because we do have a lot of words and dialect in particular. So that's really good to know as well, Bunny. So if I go to Austria, I will be learning Austrian, not German. Neat. And then I think that from here, it should... Yeah, there we go. See Mama for the Frank. We should be good because we were kind of chatting about all of these things. And look at that. Look how quickly we can scroll through. Isn't that awesome? Sprechen Sie well, it would be Österreich rather than Austrian. Österreich is Austrian, but someone from Austria, I'm not quite sure what the word would be. I wish you a normal temperature. That's so funny. And then that way, yeah, I feel like a lot of this we've actually read. If someone, oh yeah, that's the entry level. Cool. Oh, we getting there eventually. And then there was the comment on the ads. See, this is what I mean. Why did it just randomly jump down? I don't know why it just randomly jumped down. So frustrating. Anyhow, I think that we are pretty good. Yeah, this is where I saw we were. Cool. And that's basically it. AI isn't... Wait, I think we're good.
I think we're good. Yay! Look at it. I'm at the bottom. We did it. We did it. Now I can get rid of this one. AI isn't going to take over shit. It's a huge myth that big companies keep pushing. It's already coming out that the cost of AI is double that of a human counterpart. Wow, okay, that's news to me. I like that news, though. I don't want them to be investing so heavily in it. Roach on the wall? Oh, no! It really is like a Masmongold. If it also turned around and picked a bale of cotton, then I may have an answer. Are you sure you're at the bottom? Yes, I am. All right. See, we are learning how to catch up with these more highly engaging topics. And I think that having the screen there is something that I can certainly play around with. But I know that the reality is that I just need to get faster or maybe slow down chat when it gets engaging. But when we don't necessarily have the intention of covering a particular topic, I think that that's where some of it can be a little bit tough too, because chat blows up when I didn't realize it was going to blow up. The AI bubble is the largest bubble in the investment history. Oh, okay. The world can't afford for it to fail, but it is going to crash and burn very soon as companies like OpenAI are close to shutting down. Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you so much for the follow. When you realize that yet another song you learn in childhood is horribly racist. Oopsie daisies. Hi, Francis. How you going? Oopsie daisies. Okay, so we were supposed to talk about netball, but I'm going to move on from that one. Mensa, and then I don't know who. Yeah, that one wasn't a thing. EQ. Cool. I think we're Gucci, fam. Tell me about the wall and the plants and the other stuff I've missed. So I don't have a lot of plants because I've still been settling in. The wall, so I am in the UK now, if you missed that news. I am living in someone's attic. Wait, I'm not living in some... Wait, no, that's not what I meant! Oh, no! I am living in someone's flat... and I operate in the attic part. I'm hiding in someone's attic. Oh, goodness gracious. So they don't know I'm here. I am operating from the attic because it was not a space that was being utilized. So I have a bed, I promise I do. It's just not up here. Yeah, Clem Frank up here, exactly. So the attic was basically storage space, and was not being utilized whatsoever. Yeah, I'm going full method. I'm going full method. Oh no, baby, that sucks. So. So I decided I would put my desk up here. It's out of the way. Even when my housemate is home, like they can be in the lounge and not hear me, which is really, really excellent. So it's worked out really well for where I set up my stuff. But because it's in the attic, that's why I get this very terribly built wall. I don't know why it's so horrific. There's also just randomly missing bricks for some reason. And so this has just been my setup. It's really sunny today, so the lighting has been fine. But when there's a gloomy day, I definitely need an additional light because it just gets too dark. It's very rustic, exactly. I get a lot of comments about comedy club vibes. So I think where we have to decorate it so we can at least get coffee shop vibe rather than comedy club. But I honestly don't mind it. I like the simplicity of the wall. I think it just brings the focus on the conversation rather than the potential distraction behind me. So that's why I haven't decorated, because I'm not 100% sure how I want to decorate. I think it would be nice to have like a lamp here maybe, but I don't want to cover too much of you guys. It would be cool to have like a little table with a Pokemon on it or something. And then it would be nice to have maybe some hanging plants up here. But then at that point, I'm like, it also would be easier and cheaper if I just do nothing. In New York, you pay extra, exactly. Very industrial. Hey, Punk, how you going? Clint's methoding too hard, exactly. Someone call her mom. Do you use AI or Gemini for anything? Test my knowledge. I hadn't thought about that. Honestly, I don't really, I don't have a lot of instances when I'm like, oh, I could use AI for that. It's not something that's in my line of thinking at this point. I'm too used to just Googling, I suppose, rather than using Gemini or similar. When ChatGPT first was kind of used, we used it a little bit on stream just to kind of see what it could come up with. But I feel like that time has passed, that period has passed. It was a novelty, and now it's not a novelty that I find very interesting, I suppose. Oh. I think a green screen would be good for the gaming in particular, because then it's like, okay, then let's just hide all of this. I'm 5'7". In answer to that question, is that another raid? What the heck? Hello, Sandflies. How art thou? Hi. Hi, princess. So yeah, that's kind of my short notes on the AI. And then in terms of plants, I haven't really gotten a lot of plants yet, but I did buy one recently. It's downstairs. A toy. But I do, my plants would be fine up here because of the sun that you can see coming from here. Hi, Raiders! If you have yet to follow Sandflies, please make sure to go follow Sandflies because they are wonderful and it's so good to have you here. If you want to head off, then feel free to do so. And for the Raiders who have yet to come across me before, in a previous, I don't say 5'7" as tall. I'm 171 centimeters for the non-imperial measurements. Yes. So I don't have a garden, or rather my flatmate doesn't have a garden, but I do have a couple plants in the downstairs area. Hey Cam, how you going? So I could put some plants up here, but I'm so close to the wall that I don't really want to put anything behind me because I'll just keep on running into it. So it would basically have to be wall mounted plants, but then I don't really know how to work on the brick. Can you guys see this brick? Yes, you can. So I don't know what's happened here. That's completely just like, did someone try to put a screw in there? Like, I don't really know how we're going to work on things, so I just don't, and I just leave the brick wall as is. Yeah, we do have the. Oh, we've got 2 commands. What's Nightbot still doing there? Crazy. Are you a gamer? I am, and I think that we will start gaming very, 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 very shortly. Yes, it is a real wall. That is indeed a fact. Of course, Rob. You have a good rest. Twitch ones like to yap a lot. Well, it just depends. There are the Twitchers, and then the sometimes YouTube will pop off. It's just basically, I would say that Twitch is more consistent because they the flow of the people coming into Twitch is more consistent, whereas on YouTube, people stay for shorter periods of time, and then all of a sudden there's this influx just on how YouTube lives work, where it's just boom, now we have a whole bunch of people. So give it time and you'll see the YouTube will take over. I did. You want to see it again? I love Pokemon games, don't get me wrong, but we'll be playing Red Dead today. Hi, I'm doing well. I hope you're well as well. Having a wonderful weekend. Okay. Is that what it is, Cactus John? That feels like that makes sense. So basically, what you're telling me is that for me to grow on YouTube, everyone needs to spam the YouTube chat when I go live, and then it will get pushed at the beginning. Help a gal out. No, don't worry about helping me out. I still need to play catch up, even without the pushing, you know.
Ah, that's so fascinating. Okay, all right, Cactus John. That's an interesting understanding of how YouTube works. Aloha. Okay, before we get on to another conversation, I feel like we should segue over to Red Dead Redemption. Yes. Thank you, B. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all right. You can say aloha without being from Hawaii. In my 30s, I still go back to play Pokemon from time to time, and I hate new Pokemon. I love Pokemon, and I completely understand where you're coming from. Oh no, I'm getting sucked into the Pokemon talk. Everyone knows that there are a few rabbit holes that will send me on an hour spiral. Pokemon is one of them. And I will just give this to you, Tungsten, for free. I'll give it to you for free. My slogan is make Pokemon badass again. What happened to the badassery? Why is it all this chibi stuff? People are looking at Winds and Ways. I see those Pokemon and I'm like, so? What is this? What are you giving me? Like, everything is such a little... It's become very cute. And the beautiful thing about Pokemon is that you can have some cute and some badass, and you need that balance. And we also said, as a Pokemon lover, I don't think they should be making more Pokemon. I think they should be making better games. Like Pokopia. Pokopia, it's not a game for me, but it's really, really well received. And they didn't create new Pokemon for Pokopia. And yet, great game. We don't need new Pokemon. We haven't needed new Pokemon for generations now. We don't want more Pokemon. We want better games. Like, people will flood back to Pokemon with the original 151 if they just make a better game. My favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur because you cannot deny that they are number one. Hi, Donkey. We need another raid. No. We need to chill out. I'm already feeling like I've exhausted my socialization. I can do some of my random chatting here. We'll love to see it, She-Mama. Good morning from Ireland, indeed. Thank you. Skip college. Don't take my job. That's cute. Thanks, Pseudo-Dick. When you're getting a Switch 2 so can play No, I will not be playing Pokopia. I've got a Switch 1, so I would love to go back and play some older Pokemon games, but not yet. Not yet. I will play Ocarina of Time before I play the Pokemon. It's always been cute little teddy bears. Nothing badass about it. You calling this a teddy bear? You're calling that a teddy bear? Excuse me? Hi, Panda. I don't know how your favorite human is doing. You'll have to tell me who your favorite human is. Sunny Sweden. Hi, Tommy. Or rather, hey. Just a little Swedish for you there. Sorry, it just gets me every time. It's like, yeah, I can speak Swedish. Hey. Yes, I love Pokemon anime. We don't need more Pokemon, exactly. What do you mean, why aren't I answering you, B? I was saying hi and reading your things. Atrocicular is a serial killer, not too dissimilar from Dexter. Not many people know that. It changes things. I've not thought about this. Hi, Refuculated. Imagine if Pokemon did a more adult game like Pal World. Exactly, and that's an example. People just want a better game. It's just the same thing. The old Pokemon rising up to massacre the new Pokemon. Done. Let's see it. Maybe more games set in the Pokemon universe, like a Tomb Raider or even a Dark Souls Pokemon game. Imagine having to outroll a Charizard. Yes, please. Maybe it could be more like, I never played it. That's why the name is escaping me. Pokemon, the like adventure one? And you play as a Pokemon. Anyway, it might be escaping me at this stage, but you play as a Pokemon in this Dark Souls hypothetical, and then you can try and roll around the feetsies of a Charizard and whatnot. But yes, I've watched the Pokemon anime. I've watched a lot of it. That's where I got my love from it. Bulbasaur's number one. Exactly. How does a green screen work? Do I need a projector? So basically, it comes in like a tube that you can roll out, and then you change the coloring on OBS to filter out green, and then something will be replaced where green is. And so, would I be? I've never really tried it before. I will not try it today. There's too many tech things to show you how it works because I don't have any of my filters set up because I don't have a green screen. Pokemon who lure children into the woods and eats them. Yeah, we need more of those. Exactly. I'm too small of a creator to do any fan meetups, but when I was at PAX Australia last year, we caught up and we all went to lunch together, so that was nice. But at the moment, it's kind of just like, hey, if you see me, come hang out, rather than a fan meetup. Some people will organize fan meetups at conventions, but my audience is far too small to warrant that. It's more just, hey, I'm here, come say hi. And then last year we went to lunch together, which was really nice. Got some bagels. It was fun. Just clicking on this one. Yes, my mic is a sure thing. Charizard was one of the best Pokemon in the anime solely for his character arc. I don't disagree. FromSoft just went independent, so who knows? Who knows? All right, I'm ready to see it. This is the worst looking cuddly toy I've ever seen. That is not cuddly whatsoever. Look at these wings. I can't see that this is a cuddly thing. I think that they just have a Pokemon that they try. See, this is the thing, Nine Fox. This is why they have everything more rounded, because they are trying to make them more plushieable. The early Pokemon did not make good plushies. Evidently. The wings are like a little cloak. I don't think this is very teddy bearish, but other people will love Charizard. I just, I see, look how different it looks from this picture here. But like, legitimately, I know that this is kind of being like a no, see, here's the proof that it is cuddly. So I'm not disagreeing. But what I will say is that genuinely the later Pokemon generations feel designed with plushies and merchandise in mind, and that's why everything is a lot more rounder, and because it is about marketing to merchandise rather than focusing on the game side of things. That's a good point. Legends Arceus had you rolling around, and I think that of course you turn up, Frank, when Charizard is on the screen. Damn it! Super well timed for sure. But yes, Legends Arceus, I think had a really good example of not introducing new characters. I think that new Pokemon. I think they technically only had 7-ish new Pokemon, and those were evolutions of existing ones or variations of existing ones, and people really enjoyed it. Had a great base and showing a different style of playing Pokemon rather than what they've copy pasted for decades, and then what they did with ZA was just so disappointing. I never even bought it because I was like, this is actually a joke. Oh my gosh, a $150 Pokemon card. Look at you. Is it a collectible, or you think that's one you're going to sell? Exactly, Frank. You're like, now's the time. Now I will show Clem that she has her loyalties where Frank wants them to lie. Pokemon game needs more drama. And yeah, and then people always talk about the lack of voiceover as well. That's not one that I care about so much, but the reason why I think it is a valid point is because it shows that they haven't tried to do anything different over 30 years, and especially even in Legends Arceus, which I haven't even finished. But there's so much cutscene, and it takes so freaking long because of how slow everything is when we're just skipping through all of the dialogue, not even reading it. But if they had it more engaging with voiceover, I can see that being valuable. Would you plant a flower to save a bee? Absolutely. That sounds awesome. I will try and do that later on, Edward. Have you seen the next release of Pitch Black Mega? I don't even know what that is. Guys, we're not meant to be going down this rabbit hole, damn it. Meetups? Ooh. Yeah, the dubbing. There we go. Rom said the dubbing as well. Yeah, made for £5, sold for 50, so that's why they want to sell them. Cool beans. I want a Clem plushie. I would love to have the emotes as its own plushie, but I would have to find someone that could make them at a reasonable price, and then we can look into it. This is not a Charizard. Poor dragon's been on a bit of a holiday, gained some weight, he's immediately shunned. Yes, is that what I'm doing, is it? Whoopsies. Yeah, an art style change up. That could be fun. And so that's why people love the what's it called? The regional variants of Pokemon, because it's like, oh my god, it's a Vulpix, but ice. Cool. But yeah, I think that there are the occasional game that has a slightly different style, but not far enough away from it. Yes, I would absolutely raid into someone, but I don't know how to do it on YouTube, so I'll have to learn first. You've chosen well. Frank, I just think I'm going to have to start embracing it, hey? Drifloon and Duskull are the ones I was referring to, but got it a bit wrong. I love Phantump. I think Phantump is such a cute little thing. And I love its counterpart as well, Pumpkaboo. I have a Pumpkaboo plushie. But yes, Drifloon is the one that is like a balloon and carries children away, and that's how they kidnap them rather than luring them into a forest. Any Queen or Freddie Mercury fans on this platform? Absolutely, for sure. I know that you've kind of been saying that in the in your chats, William, but I considered not worrying about it since it was not on topic. But yes, big Queen fan, love it. I only remember Nurse Joy. Correct. Frank always wins. I'm learning. Well, look, Frank, what can I say? Fire is super effective against grass after all. So I can know when I'm beat, but I can also know that I will come better and stronger. And I will out-level ridiculously just so that I can beat it, even if it's not very effective. I like Adam Lambert. Adam Lambert was very much my generation. So I know a lot of Adam Lambert songs. And now, of course, they are. I think they are very good playing with Queen as well. Thank you, Lounge. Thank you. There would just be Charmander and Charmeleon and Charizard. I don't have the latter two as figurines, so it will take a while. But the indoctrination it started. Will you evolve Bulbasaur for $1,000? I wish I could. Because yes, that sounds like a great thing. Hi, well, Sava, how are you? Hola. Need some grown-ups. Ash and Broker all grown up. Mad six-pack and Misty. Basically, it looks like Jesse and James looking like mean grandparents. I like it. Have I not been smiling this whole time, Veda? Have I not been smiling this whole time? I don't know how to smile any larger. No, usually when I read comments, I am reading them out loud rather, but that's why I need to get better at reading it first and going, but in your mind, because often I will read something and then I've accidentally said a slur, or I have because that's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to catch people out, or I have read a message that I just shouldn't because it's just inappropriate and I should just move on. Oh god, J-Joy, you missed it. It was like 2.5 hours of university talk today. I am pooped. I feel like I've gone to university and got a whole degree of that. Good morning, Dirge. I don't mean that large. I'll get like the. Do you want to know how I got these scars? Someone told me that I should smile when I was already smiling. I do have a knife on me. We're not gonna trigger people there. Yes, it's only 11:15 in the morning. What are these words, Joel? I don't even know what these words strung together mean. Yeah, smile through the pain. You want to know how I got these scars? Oh, well, you'll be glad that you weren't a part of the uni conversation then. Wait, you know what? Before we play some games, let me see if I can make it succinctly. Or rather, my opinions. I am pro-university. I am not pro-university debt. I think that we should allow people more autonomy of not just immediately going into university. That doesn't mean you don't have to immediately go into university but again, it's about that conscious choice of knowing what you want to do rather than having this expectation that that's what you should do. Is there anything else succinctly? Everyone's university experience seems to be incredibly vastly different, so we can't always have one person's comment from a European country have the same conversation from a American country, because those experiences are so different. But I think it is important because then it can help understand where the pitfalls are in both. Usually it's in America. Yeah, getting work to pay for the uni degrees are great ideas. University can teach critical thinking, but it can also teach a certain mindset that you don't get outside of university. So we got to make sure we're having life experiences. I hate my university. And there's another example. Some people love uni, some people hate uni, and you shouldn't have felt like you needed to like if you okay, Rom, do you feel like you have to finish it out though? Like, is there an obligation now that you feel like you have? Okay, I got it, Boba. Yeah, exactly, princess. That we won't rehash it. We won't rehash it. We already covered it. It can come in handy multiple times. And that's the thing, is I think that we operated in a big color or shade of grey. It's ethanol-based fuel, is it? So what's ladies then? Have to study, no stress, Shadow. All the best with it as well. Silly Brit's going to the wrong time again. It's 11:45. What you mean? It's 11:45. GMT is 11:45, but we've got the daylight savings, so that's why it's 11:45. Ooh, Junji Pokemon collab. I was out near Taylor's Mistake and there was a pile of mulch I ended up taking and picked a couple of herbs, so I wasn't here to witness it all. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. For me? Do you think that you have a different outfit? What do you mean? Like, different outfit compared to what I normally wear, or a different outfit compared to what other people wear? Because I can tell you, if you say that this is a different outfit compared to what I wear, you've got 5 years of history that would prove otherwise. Hi from London. I'm not too far from you, William. I'm just down a little bit south in Southampton. I liked Dragon Ball Z, but I didn't watch all of it. Why is your last 4 streams I got a fever? So you're confusing it between the vertical and the horizontal, so that's 2 streams. And then if you see the title where it says I got a fever, again, it's a meme from Christopher Walken. Take a doozy, that's the one. Thought USA's university is weird. The whole Greek house cult culture being 4 years instead of 3 without mandatory subjects unrelated to your degree. Like, you should not have to pay additional 50k to do some BS Gen Ed subjects. I just don't know enough about that to be able to comment on that. I'm from New Zealand. You sick, guys? No, I just got a fever. And the only prescription
is more cowbell. It's a Christopher Walken meme.
You're looking like Rapunzel. Tinkle, 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 tinkle.
I am getting very Rapunzel vibes today, hey. I need to put it in a braid.
Hi from California. Very nice.
W for watching Dragon Ball. I didn't have a choice. I had an older brother. So I had an older brother who was already 10 years old in the 90s. So of course I had to watch Dragon Ball. My theory is that percentage of those who actually love university is a version of Stockholm Syndrome and shared trauma bonding. It's like, it was worth it, guys. Remember, it was worth it, okay? We survived. We got through it. And now we'll become professors because that's what we got to do together, okay? It's all worth it, guys.
Thanks, princess.
Got more of the cowbell, Dirge knows. Dumbass said cowbell, and now we just meme from it. These are the rules. Exactly. It's not only a Christopher Walken meme, it's a Boba meme. Yeah, I appreciate the compliment on the camera, because usually it's the YouTubers who are like, oh, wow, your camera's so impressive. Hi, Loki. But I thought that on Twitch it would be more common to have a fancy camera, because I know that a lot of people have very fancy cameras. Don't you notice me? I've noticed you. Oh, you mean the actual neighbor? Yeah, I guess you mean the actual one. I don't mind university when I'm in the mood. Definitely some interesting learnings going on. Good. I'm glad, and I hope that you keep that, because that shows that you are happy with your decision. But I know that not everyone is in that case. Seen a few of the tournament and Power Bits. There we go. What's the name of the cam? It's a Sony A7 III. In answer to that, very expensive. So just keep that in mind. And then I have a fancy lens as well. I love that, Doge. Howdy. Okay, YouTube. I'm ending the live stream now, but if you want to watch some Red Dead Redemption 2, then that still is possible. You're allowed to come and watch. But the way to watch would be to join us here on Twitch, or you can go to the XClem Plays YouTube channel, which is not currently live, but it will be live very shortly. But you cannot live chat if you watch on XClem Plays YouTube. So keep that in mind. Twitch is the best place to come over if you want to watch some games. And then the YouTube channel is a better place to watch if you want to watch the VOD afterwards. So that's the FYI. Thanks, Johnny. Who would win, YouTube or Twitch, in terms of what in particular? I guess you have to tell me what the competition is. If you're talking about just numerics, then we'll have to figure it out. I jumped on the stream the other day, couldn't comment because it was subscribers only. Yes, so that would have been the XClem Plays, Frank. So I don't allow chitter chatter on XClem Plays when live, because basically it's too hard to manage when gaming. So you can watch, but it would be like watching a VOD. But if you want to chat while gaming, Twitch is the place to be. We got all three of the starter Pokemon, but Bulbasaur's the largest because they're my favorite. They're my starter of choice. Okie dokie. Is that the one, Boba? Okay, YouTube, thank you guys. If you are here and you enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing so that you can see when I'm live next time. And join the Discord if you want to be up to date with any of the weekly schedule. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow. So, bye, YouTube. Bye. See you later. Ta-ta!